Hey, it's time for Goodnight Westerville, featuring Sir Reads-A-Lot and Dr. Joe Clark.
I love rock and roll. Put another dime in the jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll. Someone take time and dance with me.
Yeah, I love rock and roll. Put another dime in the jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll. Someone take the time and dance with me. Ow!
Hey! Hi, everybody. Welcome to Goodnight Westerville. My name is Sir Reads a Lot, and I like to read a lot.
Hi, and I'm Dr. Clark. I'm the superintendent of the Westerville Schools. So glad you can join me today.
Hi, and I am Officer Helps-A-Lot. I'm an officer who likes to help a lot.
Well, it's so good to meet you, Officer Helps-A-Lot. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, Joe, that's my brother. That's my other brother, Officer Helps a Lot.
Yeah, I'm a police officer, and kids, you can grow up to be anything you want, including a police officer. We like to help people and keep them safe and protect them.
Yeah, that's right, Joe. Anyway, it's Goodnight Westerville time! Yay!
Yes, it is Goodnight Westerville time. I'm so glad you guys are here. It's Thursday. It's winter break. And we got a great story for you. And let me guess, does the story have something to do with rock and roll?
Well, it sort of has something to do with rock and roll. It's actually about a rock that couldn't roll. His name's Ricky.
Oh, Ricky, you're so fine. You're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey, Ricky.
I think that's Mickey.
Yeah, well, the rock's not named Mickey, it's Ricky, so I just made up words.
Well, that's appropriate. Okay, anyway, guys, it's great to see you. I'm so happy you're here. Thanks for joining me on break. School will be back in session next week, so make sure you are playing outside and helping your folks around the house and reading a book, and we're going to read a book for you tonight, okay?
Yeah, I don't know how I changed my voice.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. We changed voices. Our voices switched. That's better.
Yeah, that's better.
Okay, so let's read the book, and once again, you can win this book by emailing me at goodnightwesterville. I'm going to point down here. Oh, look, Sir Reads-A-Lot's pointing to where it goes. Goodnightwesterville at wcsoh.org. Goodnightwesterville at wcsoh.org. Send that in by Monday morning, which is January 1st, 2024. Happy New Year!
Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year. Be safe out there on New Year's. Drive carefully. Do not drink too many root beers. You'll get a bellyache.
That's true. Anyway, email me by first thing Monday morning. I'll select the winner, and somebody's going to take this book home. Are we ready?
Yeah, let's get to it.
Yeah, let's get to it.
Okay. Guys, going to the basement?
Bing.
All right, guys. Ricky the Rock That Wanted to Roll by Mr. J. Here we go. And I've never read this book. This is the first time I've ever read this book. Over the lake and out past the bay was a green grassy hill where the rocks came to play. They would race to the top to take in the view, then roll their way down the way rocks love to do. All right. Well, they're rolling. They're rocking and rolling. They were Kip, Pip, and Chester, and Marvin the Boulder. Ignatius played too, though he was much older. And a group called the Pebbles never ever sat still, zigzagging their way up and over the hill. Oh, look at these guys. There's Ignatius and Chester and Kip and Pip. The rocks. They are rolling down the hill. That sounds like fun. Kai was a meteorite and not from this planet, and Maya was lava, but taken for granite. That's a pun. Stu was the smart one, Parker the clown, and grumpy old Ebert rolled around with a frown. Gabby was sassy. Lessie had flair. I'm sorry, that's Lisey, had flair. Emma was giggly, and Hud had black hair. Look at that, guys. And look, these rocks are telling a joke. How do you make a tissue dance? You put a little boogie in it. Ew. But the one trait that seemed to be shared by them all was that every rock there was shaped like a ball. And because they were round, they could easily roll through the grass, past the lake, up and over the knoll. The knoll. I've heard that word before. A grassy knoll. Except for poor Ricky, who quietly sat. You see, Rick couldn't roll because one side was flat. Oh no, Ricky can't roll. He's got a flat side. Look at this guy. That's funny.
He says, what part of this is supposed to be fun?
His friends didn't get it. Come roll, they would chant. So Ricky tried, but replied, I'm sorry, I can't. Come roll, come roll. Roll with it, baby. That's another song Sir Mix-a-Lot could have sang. But the rocks were determined. They were sure they could solve Ricky's flat-sided problem and help him revolve. So Marvin the boulder, with his impressive physique, carried Rick all the way to the hill's grassy peak. Then he pushed him downhill, yelling, keep rolling, kid. But Rick didn't roll. He just kind of slid. Oh no. Went to the top of the hill, shoved him down. And look what Rick is saying. This feels like a bad idea. And look, is that a ladybug that's hanging on to him?
Hey, Joe, I like this story. Keep reading it, please.
Okay, so reads a lot. Well, the rocks weren't done, not by a mile. Surely this next try would get Rick to smile. They stuck rubber balls all over Rick, using big gobs of glue to get them to stick. They were proud of themselves. This will work, they announced. But Ricky still couldn't roll. Now he just sort of bounced. Oh, look at Rick. He's got all these little bouncy balls all over him. And look what he's saying. No good, no good, no good, no good. It's not working. Still not working. What do you think? What would you do to get that rock to roll? Well, they pushed and they pulled, trying every which way to get Rick to roll. But by the end of the day, nothing had worked, just like Rick expected. And he ended up feeling depressed and dejected. It's no use, Ricky sighed. There just isn't a way. So I'll sit off to the side and watch you all play. Aw, poor Rick. Look how sad he looks. That is one sad rock. That is one sad rock. But his friends wouldn't quit. We're here for you, brother. We're here for you, brother. And we'll get you to roll one way or another. So they pondered and thought, each straining his brain, till they looked up and saw it was starting to rain. And that's when it hit that smart stone named Stu. Eureka! He shouted. I know just what to do. He explained to them how they would get Rick to tumble. My plan is pure genius. Stu wasn't too humble. Uh-oh, it's starting to rain. Stu's got an idea. What do you think Stu's gonna do? What would you do if you were Stu? So they carried our hero down the road, about a mile, to the lake, where they gathered up mud they could pile on the flat side of Rick, creating a mound that they shaped, smoothed, and sculpted until it was round. Then, after the rain, with the sun in the sky, they left him to bake till the mud was all dry. They gathered up vines and one colorful feather that they wrapped all around Rick to keep it together. Check this out. Rick, they took his flat side, they covered him with mud, they tied him up, they stuck a feather on him. Looks like he's going to Woodstock to me. This guy's saying,
Hey, does anybody have a towel? Anybody have a towel over there? It's kind of muddy, y'all.
oh, look at Rick. He's like,
Hey, man, let's go to Woodstock, man. We're gonna see Santana, maybe a little Jimi Hendrix.
when the last knot was tied and the work was all done, the only step left was for Rick to have fun. They stood back and watched, feeling nervous and tense as Rick breathed in deep with increasing suspense. He moved slowly at first, testing out his new mold, and then, for the first time, look at those guys, they're excited. For the first time, Ricky the Rock rolled. Hey! Look at him go. I wonder if he's going to San Francisco because there's a feather. Oh, that's a flower in his hair. So Bria, the ladybug, who'd been there from the start, felt a surge of pure joy swell up in her heart. She thought as she watched her friends play on the hill that there's always a way if there's also a will. And she said to herself, as Ricky rolled down the slope, when you're surrounded by love, you always have hope. Well, that ladybug is smart. Do you hear what the ladybug said? She said, where there's a will, there's a way. You can do anything you put your mind to. Boys and girls, you can be anything. You can do anything. If you work hard, you can do it. Oh, and guess what? That was the end of Ricky the Rock that couldn't roll. Did you like that story? I love that story. First time I ever read it. I loved it. I can't believe I've never read that before. And you can win it. You can win that book if you email me by Monday morning, Monday, January 1st. If you email me at goodnightwesterville@wcsoh.org, I'm going to select the winner to win that book that's going to be autographed.
Okay, Joe, hey, I love that story.
Yeah, I love that story too. I really like the story about the rock rolling down the hill. I'm glad he didn't speed and it looked like he was wearing a seatbelt.
That is true. So guys, get those emails to me. Have a happy new year. Enjoy the rest of your winter break. Read a book, play outside, and help your folks around the house. And we always end with 3 simple words. Good night, Westerville.
Good night, Westerville.
Good night, Westerville.
Now, how do we turn this off?
Westerville City Schools families, email your child's name and grade to goodnightwesterville@wcsoh.org before Monday for a chance to win the book.